2, and 1. All right. There's an outage in my area. I said outage in my area. So we're back at it. But what I was getting at, and I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in. Please refrain from using swear words on here. I don't want to pull the docket on that, Ryan. So please refrain from using swear words. So you know what I'm saying? Like I love expressions. I allow people to do that, but this is just a warning. I don't want the what we call that, community guidelines to attack. So please refrain. I don't mind y'all using certain words, but please refrain from using sweared words or words that can get the community guideline thing strike when you put it on the overlay there. So I appreciate y'all so much. That was an outage in my area. It's intermittent, so if we go out again, then we will figure out ways to combat this show. But where was I? Let's start it all the way back from the Dak Prescott thing. We're going to listen to this guy, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where I was at on that conversation, but maybe I can pick it up from here. Hold on for me.
Why did you have Dak?
Here we go.
In your top 10?
I mean, to me, it's kind of like a Geno plus, I guess, is how I view Dak. And I think one thing I love about Dak that leaves him open to a lot of the scrutiny that he faces, that he is willing to try some of these more, difficult throws on the football field where, he's not afraid.
He goes, hey, that throw's open, run over the middle. You're going to get your head shaved off, Jake Ferguson. But yeah, let's go do it again. Go try it again.
Go through a laser beam at your head 25 yards down the field. Please catch it. But I just respect the willingness to try. And I think that those traits are what gives him the ability to keep the Cowboys afloat every year and to get them to the playoffs every year. I know it hasn't been probably as productive as he would like once he gets to the postseason. I just think he does so much from a pockets perspective and lets you do really anything you want in the passing game. It's more just kind of like the consistency on the accuracy down the field maybe is what keeps him from the top of the list for me. But I really do think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and some of the discourse around him gets really tiring to me because I'm just like, man, this guy's really good.
I've always been a guy that really likes Dak because just he's quarterback teaching tape. Like him, Goff, are probably the top two in my head that I would teach a guy. And I think this offense this year, this is making sense to me. The Pickens trade, the offensive line improvements. So that's why I am more kind of bullish on Dak. He is a guy I've always been high on. I have him an 8 here. He's kind of the king of this tier.
Yeah, no, I've actually generally been a Dak Prescott defender.
Yeah, I know.
That boy said the Dak Prescott defender.
I really like him as a quarterback.
I know, you've always been complimentary of him. So
just worth noting. I think he probably didn't play his best football before going down last year with the injury.
It was a weird first month of the season. That was
really weird first month of the season. But I do think they can actually do a lot of things to make Dak Prescott's life easier this year. Like I think they're going to run, they're going to use more motion. I think they're going to run a lot more play action than they did last year. But like you just made a great point about this, he's a guy who can handle being like the old school quarterback. I do think that has in some circles gotten him like an additional bump. He does all these things with like the old school quarterback. That's right. He still also makes some really puzzling decisions at times, and will cost them in I wouldn't say big moments, but he will cost them. But so do all these guys in this group.
Last year, like statistically, such an outlier. I just don't think it's going to happen again.
No doubt. So with that being said, like I get it. Like I think someone mentioned in the chat that Dak Prescott not even. I think Rivers Leaf says Dak and Goff, and I get it. I get the notion that if you are to look up Dak Prescott's stat line and you are to look up since entering into the league, and then you stretch that out over the course of like all of the 31 other quarterbacks, I can bet you any money that you may have in your account, right, that it won't equal in all of those categories. Not in the top 20, right? So I think that he is top 20. Now, granted, this is a Cowboys-centric show. I get it. There's skeptics about Dak Prescott and his skill set. And he may not be the cup of tea that people would like to drink, right? So I get all of that too because of the past relations with the Cowboys on so many other things in the last 30 years, 30 seasons, that we're looking to pin the tail on somebody and let Dak Prescott be the donkey. I get all of that, which my whole stance here for those who probably never played ball, or even if you did play ball, and even if you did walk into a room and spoken with professional athletes, and then if you listen to their account of what they witnessed about the quarterback, I get all of that. Like opinions versus facts. And the facts outweighs the opinions all the time, right? But for us to sit here to think that this guy is not within the top 20 or to a degree for far as the time that he's been in the league, not even within the top 10, that's on you, because my whole ideology here is not to change your mind. Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. And I think that's why a lot of people come here to voice their thoughts, to voice their opinion. And sometimes you may sound foolish when we hit you with the facts, but that's okay. It's the reason why they call classroom in session, because you got to listen to someone that's more knowledgeable of you to give you the information. But there are, most of the times, some students think that they are smarter than the teacher. And that's just how it goes. And when we look at everything and we look at the reasons why, not the feelings why, then we realize, okay, all right, he's there, right? And that's just for what it is. And I get it. The last conversation we had before my internet went out, they said, well, look at the strength of schedules. It's hard to compare things when the strength of schedules is different from year to year. Now, granted, we would utilize that for teams that we really like. We'll sweep it under the rug, right? Like last year, Jaden Daniels, he had third place strength of schedule, right? So he had to play a little bit more less talented team when nobody had tape on him. But they already crowned him.
$1,601.05.
1,000. Shout out to you for the 5 LP. So the thing is with it is that I get all of the conversational pools of Jaden Daniels better than Dak. Jalen Hurts better than Dak. I get all of that. And then people can have those opinions. But in actuality, if we were to just scrape it all the way clean again and reinsert all of this, it doesn't matter. Because overall, what really matters is team. This is a finite team sport. This is not tennis. This is not golf. This is football. And until there's been time, and I guess until there's not a time that Brad Johnsons don't have a Super Bowl, right? Terry Bradshaw in the 70s or what have you, if he didn't have a Super Bowl. Nick Foles, Joe Flacco, Eli Manning. If it was a time that those boys were not able to win Super Bowls because of that individual talent, then I would say, hey, I agree. I would say, hey, man, I agree that it's not a team sport, that you got to have the quarterback in order to win the Super Bowl. But it's empirical evidence. Shout out to you, William Washington.
Will Washington, $9.99.
Thank you so much for your support. It's a team sport. That's how Flacco's can have Super Bowl. Brad Johnson. Y'all name me some more quarterbacks that's on a team. They got a Super Bowl. And if we are using that as a benchmark, as a level or a tool for success, then we will have to say to ourselves, Brad Johnson is light years ahead and better than Dan Marino. If we're going to have these Crayola conversations, right, and we got a color within the line, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it is for what it is. We got to get beyond that. We got to get beyond that. So one of the takes that I really love more than anything is this right here, with the notion that I said many a moons ago, and it fits right into this particular situation. Trent Difford got a Super Bowl, yeah. And shout out to you, one Tyrone. If it was a situation that if these boys didn't have Super Bowls and only the elite quarterbacks had Super Bowls, then I agree with everything that these people are saying. Yeah, Matthew Stafford, for 13 years or something like that, 12 to 13 years, he got him a Super Bowl. But did y'all see what was on that team? Oh, my God. Shit. And it's just for what it is. Swayze for the $4.99 for your mind says, why don't they put Dan Marino in these GOAT conversations? QBs are judged by postseason success. I don't know if you're old enough or not, but let me see. If I'm gonna take your word and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, is Dan Marino in those GOAT conversations as it relates to a quarterback? And we're going to see if it's true, or you talking about anecdotal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they do mention Dan Marino. To a degree, they mention Warren Moon. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see what they say. Let me see what ChatGPT said. First and foremost, when I ask Chat, this is what GPT says, and I'm going to go ahead and link all of this, and we're going to go ahead and ask AI. Is Dan Marino in the GOAT conversations, minusing the Super Bowl accolade? Is he still being mentioned? And let me see what she said.
Dan Marino is absolutely in the GOAT conversation? Why Marino is in the GOAT talk, arm talent and stats? Marino revolutionized the passing game. He was slinging 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns in 1984. When defensive backs could still mug receivers. That record stood for decades. Quick release, widely considered to have one of the fastest releases ever, something modern QBs still study. Era dominance. In the 80s and 90s, nobody put up numbers like Marino. He was putting up video game stats in a run-first league.
Okay, so there's no rhyme or reasons to think that Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, John Elway, like the Swayze. I know you're young. I know you're younger than me. I know I got you for over probably a little more than a decade or more. John Elway, when he came out to play in this league, he was considered better than Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, Warren Moon. He was the first demigod of the damn quarterbacks. In order for him to win the Super Bowl, he had to grow yellow teeth. You know what I'm saying? That's how long he was in there. I'm just playing with you with the yellow teeth. But in actuality, and this is the perfect segue, because Dan Marino, not Dan Marino, but John Elway, the only way that he was able and eligible to win the Super Bowl back-to-back, I believe, right? Right. Yeah. Retired and said, no, I ain't finna retire. I got a good thing going. They had to get Terrell Davis. There will be no Super Bowl without Terrell Davis. They had to have number one defense or top three defense in the National Football League. And it had to be the drop and the fall off of the Cowboys. Because none of this stuff would happen if, dare I say, we had our act together. You know what I'm saying? Steve Young, too. Yeah. Growing yellow teeth is crazy, diabolical. Yeah. I mean, come on with it. And this is the perfect segue because I wasn't even trying to segue this into this, but, man, it just perfect. It fits right on in like a glove because one of the critics, one of the people that spoke really ill of Rain Dakota Prescott said the similar things. Now, if I may add to this right here, for all of the beautiful people that's watching this show right now, you know, the people that are not watching, y'all not that beautiful, right? But if I had to add this in, name me one team that we had since Dak Prescott entered the league that was equivalent to that Broncos team and their strategy and scheme on defense as well as offense. I need to know. I want to know. Come on with it. All right, we got another super chat from Washington. Thank you so much for your support. Let the AI speak upon this one. Let's get it.
Will Washington, $19.99. Hey Law, I heard you said that you from the SIP. I'm from Mount Olive, stayed down the road from Steve McNair's mom, Ms. Lucille, and his family ranch on Air McNair Road.
Yes, indeed. All right, so backstory. I'm from Mississippi. I'm from Natchez, NTZ in the building, 601 boys. You know, all of my people, they went to Alcorn. I went the opposite direction. I went to Jackson State University. We was down there when Jimmy Smith was there, what have you. I'm not that of that age, but that's the Jackson State era that I was in. So when we started talking about Air McNair and Steve Air McNair, the kid was phenomenal. I mean, he was everything. What was it, 2 yards away from winning the Super Bowl with the Titans. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But Steve Air McNair was a pillar of the community, did a great things for Alcorn State University and all of this stuff, Tally on the Hill and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it was great and marvelous to see his career. I just hated the fact that how he was set up and, executed, and it was just crazy how all of that went down. But shout out to Steve Air McNair, man. He was a phenomenal player. Just think he kind of reminded me of a Steve Young, but the melanated version. You know what I'm saying? And he was great at what he was able to do. Accuracy was there, poise in the pocket, strength. He would run you over. I mean, it was just crazy how his career went and these sorts of things. But, he was before his time. Yeah. But shout out to Steve Air McNair, man, especially coming from HBCU. Yeah, HBCU. All right, so let's get it. If I ain't swag, who's swag? But let's watch this right quick. And shout out to y'all, man, for all what y'all do for the nation. Back to back, bro. 97, 98. Yep, back to back. Yellow teeth and all, But let's get it. Let's listen to it.
Since Dak Prescott has been in the league, this is pretty amazing. When he gets 30-plus rush attempts behind him, he's virtually impossible to beat, 53-7. Less than 30 rush attempts, he's not a very good quarterback, 20-34. But this is more sobering. If Dak just gets 100 yards rushing, again, he's Mahomes. He's 64-17.
Yeah, I think. All right, Eric, man, old head, young bull.
Eric, old head, young bull. Stuart, $9.99. I didn't mean to send this to you, my bad. So can you please send this to @Sitika Charles? It seems like it's her money at this point. Then she can block me after getting it. Bye.
Hey. Damn. Boy. Man, that's crazy, yo. Yes, it's extremely crazy. But appreciate your support. You
are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
All of them are muted. Yeah. At the end of the day, I appreciate your support. I mean, as long as you keep a healthy decorum, right, on your delivery, then we won't hold you in contempt. It's just that in order to troll here, you're going to have to pay those fines. But neither here nor there. We really appreciate your support, even though you said that you won't be over here no more. You're still here. So, hey, we will definitely accept the kind that folds. So keep folding over here and helping the nation, because without hesitation nor deviations to the matter, this offseason is long, and next month we'll be out there in Oxnard. And let's rewind to what Colin Cowherd had to say.
Since Dak Prescott has been in the league, this is pretty amazing. When he gets 30-plus rush attempts behind him, he's virtually impossible to beat, 53-7. Less than 30 rush attempts, he's not a very good quarterback, 20-34. But this is more sobering. If Dak just gets 100 yards rushing, again, he's Mahomes. He's 64-17. If he gets less than 100 yards, Dak Prescott has 9 career wins. That's it. And the Cowboys are making no move at running back.
And this was the notion, the ideology from a stone cold, hard-headed person like Colin Cowherd. He didn't say this last season or the season before that or the season. This brother said it about 3 years ago. And it's still evident to this day. Like, in 5 years, the only quarterback, the first running back that we done pretty much drafted, a third of you guys, or probably a little bit a third of you guys, are taller than him. It's Tiny Dude's fun. I can't make this stuff up. But the expectations for the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl is still bestowed upon Dak Prescott. He got to still do it. We just now starting to draft running backs, and we still didn't draft a running back in the first or the second round this year. You know, hey man, Jadon Blue, I got high expectations for him because of his speed factor. But let's just be real with it, Cowboy Nation. What other team used this as a success formula? I need to know. I want to know. But we are still considered public enemy number one. Now, someone did mention Isaiah Pacheco, or Pacheco, my bad on his name, right? But let's not sit here and think for one iota of a second that this particular team that we call the Kansas City Chiefs in the last 4 to 5 years were not considered top 5, not top 10. Top 5 on defense. Last season, there was only one other team that had a better defense than the Kansas City Chiefs. And that team beat them. So if the Chiefs were playing any other team in the Super Bowl, they would have had another Super Bowl ring. Don't y'all understand that? What win championships, ladies and gentlemen? What wins it? Offense win championships, Law. She. And let me know what they say down there on defense, points allowed and all of this stuff. And you give that to Pat Mahomes? I thought he didn't need any help. He's Pat Mahomes. But we would sit here and say to ourselves, we them boys, Cowboys, and grade us harder than any other team in the National Football League and dismiss the simple facts and the rudiments to life as it relates to this right here. Now, money wins championship, Jerry. Now, come on, Jerry. You got to open up that wallet then. Money do wins it because it's the byproduct of you going out there and burning some money to pay Parsons, right? And to add more and more weapons. You pay Parsons now, it will increase the salary cap for us to this point, whereas we are at $31 to $32 million. We can spread it out prorated. We'll have about $40 to maybe $50 million to spend. Now, you're going to have to get hit next year, but that's the whole point of having money. You got to spend it. Money is no good. And you know it, Jerry. Sitting in the bank. It's no good. You got to have money in circulation. I even know that. Boy, I made good on my portfolio last year. Because I know not to just shove my money in the savings account. My money got to be money in, meaning moving. And y'all all know that. We're not going to dig up a hole and say, all right, we're going to bury it for next year. And when we come back, that money should be still there. No. It states in the book, give it to the exchangers. Them words of wisdom were written over 3,000 years ago in the scribes and everything. And it's still relevant to this day. But Jerry Jones and this front office don't know how to utilize some of that money, as rich as they are. And as exciting that it could be. Let me stop talking before I'll speak my wisdom teeth. But you guys are getting what I'm saying, right? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, right? So it is for what it is, Cowboy Nation. We were talking about strategy. We were talking about technique, systems that's put into place. But let's listen to this right quick.
At what point in time do you have to start saying to yourself as an organization, the dude in his 10th year, you can say all you want that you've been around the rim, you ain't. And I do think Dak is an exceptional quarterback. I do not think he deserves the hate that he gets. I do think some of the things that happened to him are team-based related. I get the quarterback takes a lot of the heat and get a lot of the credit as well. But you have to ask yourself the question, at what point in time, if this year goes sour again, you gotta ask yourself the question now.
The asking of the question is going to be the perfect segue. The asking of the question. All right, and let me see what we got here. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping in and being part of the nation without hesitation or deviations. All right, so let me, because we don't want to derail this altogether. All right, we're gonna. Okay, let's see what we got right here. You sent in a super chat. All right, let me see. All right, let's see.
Eric, Old Head Young Bull, Stewart, Super Chat Law. You misunderstood what I said. What I said was, I'll pay once the live chat is over. Because they were blocking me right after the super chat.
Okay. All right, so timeouts and blocks is two different things. So if they timing you out, then that's one thing. All right, and they would probably only time you out if you're saying something out of line, right? We practice a healthy decorum, right? But as long as you are not having personal attacks and speaking of the Philadelphia Eagles or what have you, then you should be able to speak your mind, right? They only block you if you are saying something personal attack or you talking something that's outside of the ordinary. That's all we getting at right here, bro. So, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Law, is Dak responsible for stopping the run defense and these sorts of things? No, he's not responsible for that. And hanging around the rim and being around the rim, look, the worst thing is being in a spot in the position whereas you are valued, but you're not respected. The if I can't have them, I don't want nobody else to have them type of an approach. There are people that's been in relationships like that is all fun and game when they're out there, ingratiating themselves with a certain person or what have you, right? And the moment you do it, it's a red flag, right? And then when the relationship gets toxic to a degree, you put down, if I can't have them, no one can have them. And that is how the value system worked with Dak Prescott. They literally said that to themselves when his contract was up the very first time. If I can't have him, no one can have him. I'm going to put him on a franchise tag, the exclusive one, meaning that you can't even put in 2 first-round draft picks. You can't even put in transitionals or none of this stuff, is that we want this quarterback here. And what the franchise tag did for the Cowboys, it set the Cowboys back over $90 million. Because when you franchise tag your own player, you can't prorate it, you can't spread it out, you can't do other factors to bring in more and more resources, more and more things. And it also spit upon the player when the player plays under that contract is that it paints the picture that if we can't have you, no one can have you, and you need to hush and take this money and play my ball. Play my ball of sport. Now, granted, this man is going to go into the grave a very wealthy man. Some of you guys say, hey, man, put me on the franchise tag. Hey, I'll play under $35 million for 1 year. All right. Guaranteed. But those who's really living this life, that really want that relationship, none of these women that's in the chat would say, hey, give me a promissory ring. No, y'all want an engagement ring. And, of course, we as football fans, we want the Super Bowl ring, but that's a whole nother conversation of an analogies. But definitively, Jim Irsay, may he rest in peace. When it was time for Dak Prescott, I think that they leaked out the fact that they would be willing. They would have loved to have those problems. And the Cowboys sat on that pot so long, either you're going to shit or get off the pot, right? And y'all know what I really wanted to say. Right? The Colts were willing to pay the 35 because people kept talking. He's not worth 25. I think it started off at 25. He's not worth 25. He's not worth 25. He's not worth 30. He's not worth 30. He's not worth 35. By the time they paid him, it was in the 40s. He's not worth 40. Then for them to turn around to do the exact same thing the second time around, he's not worth 50. He's not worth 55. He's not worth. It's the same song and dance. Same song and dance. And that's the problem with the Cowboys. That money that they were swabbling over could have been an additional guy that can make plays, that can make something on defense. We have spent nearly $40 million that we shouldn't have to, if I do the quick math. They never allowed Dak Prescott to see the open market, because they went with the approach, if I can't have them, no one can have them. And I know a third of you guys right now would have been really, really looking at this thing and saying, you know what? Instead of paying Dak Prescott in 2020, whenever the contract was over, because they let this man play in the final year of his contract in 2019, that in return you would rather receive the 2 first-round draft pick, trade them off to the Colts or what have you, and we would have been done with it. We would have been complaining about the next damn quarterback, right, of lack of success. And they would have still probably drafted a Tyler Guyton and a Mozzie with those 2 first-round draft picks, by the way. And we will be talking about whole nother conversations. Ben DiNucci or Andy Dalton as the quarterback. And people fail to realize the fish rot from the head down. That when you have infrastructures from the top and your foundation is not great, it doesn't matter how much paint, fresh paint you put on that house. Don't y'all know we hired a failed coach out of Mike McCarthy? He haven't won since 2010 with a quarterback that's definitively better than Dak Prescott in his prime, named Aaron Rodgers. He couldn't win it with them. And we had the expectations. We went from Jason Garrett to Mike McCarthy to still win the Super Bowl without bringing up the resume and the empirical data of what Mike McCarthy do when it's time for him to get to the postseason. I can't make this stuff up. We living off of old bodies. 2010. Now, Mike McCarthy is gone. We seeing Shoddy in this situation now. It's either going to be Shoddy to be damned or Shoddy to win it all. because the expectations is for a rookie head coach now to win a Super Bowl, which never been done in NFL history, by the way. But we can pin the tail on the quarterback. We can pin the tail on the quarterback. I can't make this stuff up. But that's the point. That's why I said before last season, man, I just wish they just let Dak Prescott play out his contract. Don't even sign the brother. Let him taste the open market. Let him get a chance to be on the open market. Let's see how long he will be out there. Let's see if the 31 other teams pass him up. But the fear of loss and the mindset to say, if I can't have him, no one else can. Because what if he's everything? And the Cowboy goes against the grain more than any other team in the National Football League. We are the only team that would see things operating and moving and say, let's break it down. Let's get rid of Amari Cooper for a 5th-round draft pick. And let's draft a guy, Matt Waletzko. Nate Newton, I had him on the show. We did Cowboys and Chill. He said he damn near got fired from Cowboys for telling the Joneses the truth by saying that Joshua Ball and Matt Waletzko are no good. They are no good. So when you draft with feelings, you're losing a third of the reasons why your team should be successful, because you're drafting out of feelings. And we still have the expectations, because we putting feelings in the matter, that we're supposed to win it all. Can't make this stuff up. All right, so neither here nor there. We was talking about techniques and beyond, right? And it's hard to explain to people that even when you have all of the techniques and you have all of the skill set, that this picture along, and this is like a viral topic, right? It's hard to explain to someone who isn't a boxing fan, right, that the guy on the left beats the guy on the right in a street fight 100% of the time, right, basically. You can have all of the muscles, and that's Aaron Donald, chiseled it all get out. But if you don't have the punch and the technique, the skill set and the discipline, muscles will not save you. Strength will not save you. But from the outside looking in, 1,000% in a ring of boxing or MMA, they say, nah, man, the muscles going to win it all the time, man. Lack of knowledge kills a lot of folks. Wisdom secure all of those things. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is to know not to put tomato in a fruit salad. But at the meantime and the between time, if something don't smell right for all of this, come on with it. Let's get it with this, because this can neutralize a lot of stuff. Let's talk about control. And first and foremost, I'm talking about control body odor, and that's anywhere. And all you have to do is shop.mando and get $5 off of your starter pack, and that's over 40% with promo code LAW, shopmando.com. Let's go. I use this body wash odor control, full body control with Mando. They have the product here, and they also have deodorant that you apply under the arm for 72 hours of odor control. You want to be in control. And speaking of control, they also have the product that you can apply all over the body, the invisible cream, and it also fights for 72 hours. Look, it's all about being in control. And with Mando, man, they control body odor anywhere. All you have to do is shop.mando, get $5 off your starter pack. That's over 40% with promo code LAW, shopmando.com. Let's go, and let's stay in control of your odor. I love it.
Let's go, man! Let's go!
Yes, indeed. Let's go. So salute to Mando. Be sure to check them out. The invisible spray, it goes onto the skin and it lasts for 72 hours. And yeah, I do agree with my guy. You know, you combination of eating right and living right, you have less of these things. Natural is the way. So all of the Mando products are chemical free to that degree. So there's no iron, there's no parabens and all of this stuff in that. So you are utilizing something like aluminum. You know, some people put aluminum and stuff to stretch it out. So with Mando, be sure to check them out. Get 40% off of your starter pack by using promo code LAW. With that being said, if you fool around, we'll hit y'all back to back with this, and you driving, and if you don't know where you going, right, but you going the right direction, and the other people don't know where you going, and they T-bone you, they run into you, and all of a sudden there's a big bang, right, and you need to be able to secure yourself. I got a peoples that know people that can help you out. Now, granted, depending on the time of day, right? You know, you may get a call back, but what I'm getting at is that you don't want to be like this right here, because, you know, I always like to showcase something, you know, to give a little humor to this particular situation. Yes, indeed. Now, Invisible Wolf Cream is the best. Yes, indeed. Especially if you're riding around like this. Hey, watch out for these Ultimas. These drivers, man.
Tell LaQuanda I'm on the way.
LaQuanda.
Sorry. I ain't hit nobody.
She ain't hit nobody. Yeah.
Y'all better move.
Yeah. So that happened right there, man, and they don't know where they going. And them Ultimas, man, it's like the starter pack, man. If you see somebody with the Ultima and the bonnet on and they outside, oh my God, this is something that you want to drive down the opposite side of the street, because at the end of the day, they got nothing. They're going to stop them, especially with the bonnet and the Ultima. Shoot, reckless driving like that, you better watch out, but I got somebody you can call.
It starts from the first phone call. Most of the time, you're going to talk to Gene Burkett, a 30-year partner. You're not going to talk to some employee that just got put on the phones that day.
There are things that are so crucial, especially if it's a cataclysmic event, to have our experts get out and look at the vehicle, witness statements, photos, the whole thing.
Call Frenkel first. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
That's 214 or 817 and all of the threes you can dial. It starts first with the first phone call. Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, they're located here in the heart of Dallas. They have a combined experience of over over 100 years of experiences. I'm about to say 300 years. I'm going way back, man. God dog. But be sure to reach out to all personal injury lawyers, Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. And if you can't dial that number, visit FrenkelFirm.com. Oh my God. Oh man. The inside caramel like $100,000. Come on, baby. Oh my God. I got from the 409. You're live, D-Ship, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey, good afternoon.
Man, good afternoon to you, man. Thank you for jumping in.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you for just having this platform, bro, as always, man. But dog, other night, man, just kind of want to expand. Like, I think I super chatted. I think it was a collective, man. I just be everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
but I think I was on the collective when I, asked about the pass rush being able to vamp this defense, because 14 and 16, that was Marinelli, right? And I think the defense, the pass rush, we had guys like George Selvey and Jeremy Mincy and that type of stuff, right? So we run that bend don't break type of defense. I feel like the linebackers are gonna be good. I don't really remember the run game being too off on that style of defense, but like I say, my big observation is knowing that this pass rush is real good. But I just think that defense was I think the problem with that defense, what we got kind of stale on, was like the pass game, the pass defense as well. and just always getting caught in those zones and people be able to pick that apart. Like Aaron Rodgers kind of like would just, make food with that defense. So just curious if a pass rush is going to kind of mask the deficiency, I think, within the philosophy of that defense as Eberflus evolve, to be able to kind of upgrade that defense and cover for that.
Hold tight for a quick second, though, D-Ship.
Darren Posey, $5.
Appreciate
Law,
it.
stay away from the Ultima and Maxima Mondo kitties.
Lord, man, he said stay away from the Ultima and the Maxima Mondo kitties, man. He ain't lying. But no offense to Nissan Ultimas, by the way. You're on the point of right here, D-Shift. You're on a great point. If we think about, like, we came a long way from having J.J. Wilcox out there and Anthony Browns and just praying to God that if Cheeto Awuzie or whoever else we had in the secondary to just be there, right? Just get around the ball. We are a long ways from that. And I think that this team, if you think about pass rushings or pass rushers, if healthy, we can be probably one of the best in the NFC. The thing is, our biggest impediment is the unknown. We don't know what Mozzie is going to look like, Jay Toya. So that's why I believe ultimately that the Cowboys are going with the long approach of waiting to see how this coaching staff, Aaron Whitecotton, can elevate Mozzie and Jay Toya and anybody else that's going to be a bigger of the size there before they go, I guess, rip the Band-Aid off and get a true one tech.
Man, you got like this. That you said that you take something like an insulting email, but you say it in a professional way on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I feel like you do a good job at that sometimes, man. Because I'm more how my boy Boss Cowboy you talking about now, which is not trusting the Jay Toya. We need to move away from the rookies and that of that nature, and not trusting this front office, the slow cook, so to say. So I'm more with him. And,
wait and see, touch, let me see the holes in the hand. But if I'm Aaron Whitecotton and I ultimately want to win, there's one thing, coaches still got to coach. Like Aaron Whitecotton got to look at it from this aspect of it. This is a former first-round draft pick, Mozzie. I'm brought in here to help this D-line. And we all know in businesses is always buy low, sell high. Right? If we can get the max, if Mozzie can give us 4 sacks this season, we should be able to lobby that and either trade him for more, or if he sucked, then we go back to the drawing board and draft a real one tech or bring in a veteran.
Posey,
I got another super chat.
Law. Eric drives an Ultima, the glitter steering wheel cover and eyelashes on the headlights.
Posey, you're a wild man. Damn. He said, boy drives one of those Ultimas with the eyelashes and the glitter steering wheel. That's crazy. Yeah, with the glitter everywhere. You fool around and get in that thing and they got glitter everywhere. You get out of that car, fellas, you're going to have glitter all over you, man. You got to do a lot of explaining where you was at. So the moral of the story is don't get in that car. But what you got for me, D-Shift, before I let you go?
Yeah, man. That was just that. And I mean, as far as the running game's concerned, man, really, just to touch on that DT, man. I think Henny and Boss did a good show last night of just breaking down and just reminding that these Super Bowl teams got like some type of elite DT, like whether it's a 1 tech or 3 tech.
Yeah.
So it might be a situation, Osa needs to kind of take a next step.
But let me just say this though, and I know my guy Boss Cowboys Sports stance on this and Henny, and I believe that they are speaking from the heart on this, right? But let's say even if we do go get that nasty real true one tech, you think that they're going to be moving to do some snaps and reps right now? What would be the benefit? Because my thing is, you still got to develop Mozzie. He need as many reps as possible under Aaron Whitecotton, him and Jay Toya. Bringing in a veteran right now is going to take away those reps. And most of the time, veteran defensive tackles, they ain't doing nothing right now anyway. So let at least a week or 2 weeks come in, and then if you realize that Mozzie and Jay ain't that it, even though we know kind of that they really ain't moving the needle that way, but at least give Aaron White Cotton a chance to at least see these guys and see what they can do.
No, I say, man, you kind of just in the situation you in. Like I said, you ain't got no trade but to do it the way you're saying to do it. Like for me, I trade a 2nd round pick right now to go get like a Grover Stewart from Indy, or see if Tampa wants to let go of Vita Vea, see what they'll kind of take.
Yeah.
I would definitely make that move because, like I said, man, it's just too much of the like you can't fight history, dog. And when you go look at just the DTs that have, I mean, nobody's been able to develop, these 7-round picks in the first year to be an impact right then and there.
Right.
2-3 years from now, I'm with it. Mozzie Smith coming along, I believe it. But my thing is just like if it's not a for sure thing, Law, and I think we just kind of stay in this cycle with that position in particular, safety as well, where we kind of like hope that 6-7 round guys can come up, and do something that we haven't even seen across the league. That doesn't happen too common. So just elite push from that DT position, like maybe I don't know. So that's my big thing, man. So I don't want to forget that. I don't know the Pickens thing. Just trying to be like kind of more of a disciple of the boy boss Cowboy, man, and just understand that we need to be banging at the table a little bit more because I think we're a little comfortable after, we got Pickens and all that.
No. I get their sentiments and their statement on that, bro. I appreciate you for calling in too, D-Ship.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Good call from – so the sentiments of it is that we all know. Do I want Gilly now? Yes. Do I want Ramsey now? Yes. Do I would love to break news and shatter glass and run through a wall almost if we get a DJ Reader, if we go get a known one tech that can move some stuff around, right? But if I'm the head honcho or if I'm the HNIC here for the Cowboys and I spent millions of dollars to hire this coach who's everywhere he's been. They've been ranking in top 10 in Russian defense. They've been ranking in top 10s on stopping the run or what have you. Then I got to at least see what he can do. And then he got to come back to me with a real report of saying, look, man, this dude is dog water. Or look, I can work with this guy. Right, before we go spend more money for these type of things. So I get the argument with what Balls Cowboys Sports is saying and my guy Henny on, man, these guys, look at the historical data. These guys ain't going to be no good compared to teams that won the Super Bowl. But historically speaking, if we only lean in on those things, there's never been a rookie head coach to win the Super Bowl too. So are we being prepared for 2025 or are we being prepared for 2026? So there's so many ways that we can look into this. Budrow says, Law, if it ain't Dexter Law or Quentin Williams from the Jets, I don't know who else that could be of that kind of caliber. DJ Reader, right? It's so many guys that we can go get. But we got to go through the natural order of processing. We just can't be like a kid in a candy store, right? Like, I want this, and then you walk in, I want this, I want that. All right? So that's just what I'm looking at it. So, and it's just for what it is, all right? I got the next caller from the 908, my brother from another mother, Swayze. You're live on the Nation, man. Talk to me, bro.
My brother. Happy late Juneteenth.
Hey, man. All is well. I can't complain. What you got for me today?
I was calling because you did the chat GPT with the AI. That was cute, but
it was cute. It was good touch to it. It was good touch, man.
It was cute, but you know exactly what I mean, right? Like if you go on AI and type in "is Larry Bird" in the Go conversation, she's gonna say absolutely yes as well. And we all know that's not the case, right? I think the point I was trying to make, right, is that even though Dan Marino had all the stats, had all the accolades, was very talented, one of the better throwers of the football, when it came to comparisons to Joe Montana, before Tom Brady, it was unanimous that Joe Montana was the GOAT. Why was that? It was because it rains. Because ultimately, I mean, come on. It can't be obtuse in the conversation if it's going to be a debate. Ultimately,
hold on. Before you get into that, though, man, let's just be real with it. Montana had Rice, man. Shoot. And then they had run game. What was the guy? Roger Craig. He was like Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk. Joe Montana got so much credit for 1, 2, 3 step drop back to a 2-yard slant, and Roger Craig would take it to the house, And
I mean, Dan Marino had Mark Duper. So it's not. I mean, like he had two. He had number one. He
had no running light on the other side too. Now 49ers defense was notorious. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying though.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not, and this is not really an anti-Dak thing or things of that nature, but it is a fair conversation when they bring up Dak, is that he hasn't gotten it done in the postseason, and ultimately I think that would agree with me as well, is that I'm going to be judged by postseason success. That's how Tony Romo was judged. Yeah. That's how Quincy Carter was judged. That's how Troy Aikman was judged. Like, that's just a part of the game. So running away from those type of conversations, it does no one no good, especially if you're a fan of Dak Prescott. It makes a fan of Dak Prescott look crazy, because like it puts you in that bubble where the rest of the sports fan base is ultimately judged every single person. I'm talking about specifically the quarterback position, because they touch the ball every single play. I mean, of course, running backs, wide receivers, that don't necessarily matter because you need a lot of things to go your way. You need a right quarterback, a right line, things of that nature. But when it comes to quarterback, when you're touching the ball every single play, and you're ultimately, based on your decision making, do have a large percentages to determine if we win or not. I think it's a very fair argument for Dak Prescott to have postseason success.
All right. So, and what is considered postseason success? An individual thing or a community thing, like a group thing, like a team thing? Like, for example, Hurts. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. You can't take that away. But the man won games by throwing it for 150 yards. We didn't have those opportunities here. When you are blessed to have a complete team, and granted, I like AJ, I like Smitty, I like the weapons, but Saquon Barkley was the elixir for the Eagles. Now, in history of time, Hurts will always be considered a Super Bowl winning champion and a postseason successful quarterback. That's not comparing apples to apples to these type of conversations, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I mean, I get what you're saying, but, we can't make it seem like Dak Prescott over the course of his 10-year career, behind you 10 years, that he didn't get, help as well. Now, has it been some seasons where we lack talent due to, being a mom and pop store and, and not having enough money in the bank account, that most ownership groups have now, that Jerry doesn't have by himself? Now, it's been some seasons where we've fallen off in terms of talent level, but it's also been some seasons where, like for instance, 2023, having a top 5 defense, right? That's something that a lot of quarterbacks don't have, right? A top 5 defense that Dak Prescott had, and we didn't get it done in that specific year.
And we didn't get it done, so that top 5 defense allowed 7 opening drives of scoring touchdowns, putting 40 points on the board. Now, granted, Dak Prescott did put some of that point on the board, too, with the pick 6, but that was way beyond the situation. I think the score was like at 20-something to 3 at that point, and you trying to scramble and scrape. So that defense that we talking about from 2023, because John Machota, he says this all the time, like the 2023 Cowboys is the biggest head scratcher of all time, because you had a prolific offense and the defense was great that year. But we went to the postseason. Think about this, the craziest thing. We won 17 straight home games. For us to get to that postseason, to look like a complete different team, you got to look into the mirror and say, yeah, Dak Prescott was whack, but he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one. Everybody was whacked, even the coaching staff and beyond.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I do agree with you. Everyone was whacked that specific game. But I think this is one of the arguments for people who might want a little bit more, with the Cowboys, right? We're the most valuable franchise in the world, right? So that's like the Yankees not trying to get a Aaron Judge or trying to get a Alex Rodriguez. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, you want the best of the best at the key positions for your valuable franchise. And I think with Dak Prescott, and I don't think no one's ever said Dak Prescott, a reasonable person, a reasonable sports fan or knowledgeable fans ever said Dak Prescott was trash. I think what they're trying to say, based off this type of franchise and the money that he is getting, unfortunately he is getting, that yes, the defense allowed 7 opening drives that resulted in points. But how you stop a bleed, like how you put a Band-Aid in some type of bleeding is for you to come back on your end and go neck and neck and have a little shootout. Now, if we were lost in terms of a shootout or things of that nature, or Dak Prescott came back and scored two more touchdowns and things of that nature, then that would have been a different story. Like 95 Packers, I think their first 3 drives was like opening. I mean, were touchdowns, and Trademan had to come back, and Emmitt Smith and Trademan had to come back and score the whole 9 yards. So I just think that we give Dak Prescott a lot of
Swayze. Let me just say this then. You was expecting a back-to-back kind of like a shootout, right?
No, I was expecting that he's capable of doing that, right? So if the defense, some people have bad days.
Let me just lay this up, because you got me pop blocking over here, man. Because I was expecting a shootout with the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes versus, dare I say, the Philadelphia Eagles. That game was very reminding myself of what Dak Prescott looked like in that Green Bay Packers game. When you can create pressure with 4 and drop everybody back, there's no quarterback that can really carve upon a team. And I just seen Pat Mahomes, who is one of the greatest throwers of the ball. On top of that, they had a number 2 ranked defense, and they couldn't get it done. So if Pat Mahomes couldn't get it done, and Dak Prescott is considered not even in the same room as Pat Mahomes, and for us to have those levels of expectations is crazy, because we couldn't run the ball against the Green Bay Packers, by the way. We started to get runs towards the end when they just started relaxing everything, but we were only averaging 2 yards per tote. And granted, I like Saquon Barkley, but if you were to put Saquon Barkley on this team when we played against Green Bay, and if he was only giving us 2.5 yards per tote, then I would say something. But at the end of the day, it goes back to what Colin Cowherd said, that Dak Prescott is damn near unstoppable when he have run game. Did we have run game that game?
I mean, I think any quarterback is unstoppable if a running game is having.
Outside of Lamar Jackson, right? Because he got the damn run game. Yeah.
I mean, Lamar has a run game, but of course, you're 100% right that it was very similar to the Super Bowl in terms of Patrick Mahomes not able to get it done, but we give Patrick Mahomes a pass because he was able to do that in the past. So when you able to do that in the past, like for instance, the New England Patriots.
Put it like this. Let me pause you right here. He was never able to do it in the past.
What you mean?
He was never able to do. Pat Mahomes. I'm talking about not being able.
Against the Bills in the playoffs.
They didn't stop the Bills.
He
didn't.
Hold on. 15 seconds.
He scored in 15 seconds, but they were still able to run the ball, and the Bills wasn't creating pressure with 4 and dropping everybody. Is what I'm getting at. Well, go back and watch the game. Let me know. Here's the thing: is with these quarterbacks, like Pat Mahomes, you can't find a game that teams were only rushing 4 and creating pressure and stopping Pat Mahomes in his run game, and that game that Pat Mahomes won it. Is what I'm getting at. And what we do here in Cowboys land, because everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac, and Biggie climbing out of the grave knew that the Cowboys are one-dimensional. The Super Bowls, here's the crazy thing before I let you go, bro. The Super Bowls that Pat Mahomes won, his very first Super Bowl, guess who should have won the MVP?
The very first Super Bowl?
Yeah. Let me know how many yards on the ground that they were able to accumulate. Let me know how many times that their run game, that a lot of people, just because the name don't stick, doesn't mean that it don't fit, because they were able to run the ball. And Pat Mahomes, I'm not taking away from the greatness of White Castle, Texas, Pat Mahomes, or wherever he's from. But what I'm getting at is that you still need team, you still need run game, and you still need to have the ability to stop teams from scoring.
Okay, so can I ask a question? Again, this is Dak Prescott had about
Right.
Have Dak Prescott ever had, let's say, top 10 rushing attack? Has he ever had an ability to hand the ball off and just, you don't have to really do much, just hand the ball off and you're going to get 5-6 yards a pop?
I think
he was able to have that in his career.
2018, I think Ezekiel.
2016, 2018.
Well, we not comparing apples to apples. You're talking about a rookie quarterback at that point in 2016.
Yeah, but you still have.
I mean, name me the rookie quarterback to win the Super Bowl. We can do this game for tit for tack. And if you look at 2016, it wasn't Dak the reason why they lost that game. Believe it or not, I'm just spitting facts.
He threw 2 interceptions. He threw a costly interception, and
was he the finite reason? Was he the finite reason the Cowboys didn't win in 2016? This is what you're holding over the head of Dak Prescott?
No, he's not. Of course, he's not the finite reason, right? I don't think anyone is the finite reason, unless you Rex Grossman or something like that, that you completely lost the game for someone. What I'm trying to say is that in order for you to become great, the greatness, and to become great, you have to win rings, the whole 9 yards. You have to be able to overcome some deficiencies that some of your teammates might have.
And how many deficiencies did we have? No, Dak Prescott. Look, Dak Prescott, and this is what I'm getting at. We are depending on Dak Prescott to overcome a running back that's only giving you 2 yards on the ground. You're not going to win those games. But the year that they did do that, they were the underdogs. I believe we were at home. I believe that. And it was 2018. Ezekiel Elliott had over 120 yards on the ground, right? We had some plays with special teams. That was one of the Dak Prescott first playoff wins. And what they did after that, believe it or not, is that they went into the following year after every success that the Cowboys tend to have. They destroyed and break it down. The following year, from 2018 to 2019, it was time to pay Dak Prescott. They talked about value and worth. They didn't give the man the contract. Then on top of that, they didn't add anything extra to 2019. They made it a wedge on the team. That's when they brought in, I believe, in 2019, they brought in, it wasn't Tony Pollard on their team, and that was the year they did Zeke who? See, we don't on the team that do that. They went to destroy this team, to break it down, and that's coaching. But I say less, bro.
No, I agree with you there, right? Yeah. I mean, I agree that. I mean, they've been doing that since 2014 when they didn't pay DeMarco Murray the following year, and we went with I forgot his name, but we didn't want to pay DeMarco Murray after breaking the franchise record, which is crazy, by the way. So I'm not saying that. If Dak Prescott was in a normal situation, he'd be able to become like a regular quarterback and maybe have some postseason success, maybe make it to the NFC Championship or AFC Championship once, or maybe make it to the Super Bowl once. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for this team, because we're Cowboys fans, right? We got a different set of standards based off the ownership that we have. Based off this team and this type of ownership and the way they sign players and play politics, you have to have a quarterback that be able to not just overcome deficiencies on the field, but off the field as well.
You got to have Jesus in order for the Cowboys to win with the set of teams that they had. Speaking of Jason Witten and Mike McCarthy, who couldn't get it done since 2010 with a better quarterback than Dak Prescott by the name of Aaron Rodgers, right? You would have to get a reincarnation and bring Jesus down in cleats in order for that to happen, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you for calling in.
Or say one thing, or get Jesus, or maybe get little Jesus himself, Arch Manning, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my God! In order for us to get Arch Manning, and I hate the fact that people crown Arch Manning before he get to the league or what have you. He still got to play out his year, and he may go back for another year. He may not go into the NFL until 2027, right? But Archie Manning or Arch Manning will not win playoff games if the running back is averaging 2.5 yards per toe. He's not going to win. He won't win. You don't give a dog how good he is, right? So on top of that, I get it. And the Cowboys, based upon and predicated upon this team infrastructure, we win in more than 1 or 2 games. The only way we are in the considerations for an Arch Manning or Archie Manning or Baby Jesus is what he just said. if Dak Prescott, let me knock on some wood, goes down again, right? And Joe Milton, I believe even with Joe Milton at quarterback now, with George Pickens and damn CeeDee Lamb and the running back approach mental mindset, that we won't suck enough to even be in consideration to get a kind of caliber of the number 1 overall pick. Y'all got to understand, even when we were trash can juice of 5-11, 5-11, 5-11 with Dave Campo, that we didn't suck enough to go get, dare I say, those quarterbacks that everybody said, Matthew Stafford, the Matt Ryans of the world, Michael Vick, we didn't suck enough to be able to get those quarterbacks. And that's when we knew we didn't even have a quarterback. We had Benny Testaverde. They had one guy that used to play for, we had Trent Green. We had all of these other quarterbacks. We even tried to go get Ronnie Cunningham. And we still won too many games. If as talented as the Cowboys may be perceived to be, we are still going to win more than 3 to 4 to maybe 5 games. Just off of that, off of principles. So I want y'all to scratch and carve out of y'all minds that we're going to be somewhere in the wheelhouse to draft the number 1 overall pick. It ain't happening. It's not happening, y'all. But let me let the next caller on. Boy, we having a good Friday, ain't we? I got my, I got a 601. I got a Natchez NTZ in the building. Talk to me.
I'm on.
Yeah, man, you live, man. You live. NTZ
Hey,
in the building,
hey,
man.
This Will from the SIP, man. I just wanna give you your flowers, man, because you so know you preaching today. I'm about to get my towel and wipe your forehead, boy, the way you preach. Because I know I love us Cowboys fans, but we got a little tad bit, ignorant, just a tad bit. I just wish we appreciate our franchise QBs when we have them, because they hard to come by.
Yeah.
And teams get older and more expensive, and it's hard to carry all that. Like, all QBs don't wear capes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how they expect that to work with Dak playing that archaic offense that Mike McCarthy was trying to run. Like, all that goes into play against the defense that, key in on certain things. Like, they watch film too. They know it's coming before the play happens. So how you expect him to make some ill-advised throws when they already know the play anyway?
Yeah.
And you got all these option routes and both not on the same page. When CD and Dak went on the same page with some option routes, it looked bad from jump,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just speaking on 2016. And I might be a Dak appreciation in this. I might be, because I'm a State fan. And I first became a Cowboy fan the year Dak got drafted.
Wow.
So I might be a Dak appreciation in this, but I'm just speaking to all the Dak destructionists. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Because it could be worse.
It could be worse, yeah.
Exactly. QBs of Dak caliber, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't come by often. Like, geez, this is going to be like a run-in-the-mill type opportunities. And who's to say Arch Manning won't be like a Trevor Lawrence, just have his struggles too, like
or Ryan Leaf.
I need him to calm down on that.
And crazy enough, we went and got a Ryan Leaf. We went. Well, maybe we could do this project with Ryan Leaf, and we still won too many games to get a good quarterback. After we done went and got Ryan Leaf, here's my thoughts track, man. I appreciate you for calling in. The whole thing is with Dak Prescott is that I agree with Swayze. I agree with Dak, a delusional guy, that Dak can't win it all. Mm-hmm. He won't be able to be that force multiplier. I agree with him. I agree with them. Here's why I agree with them. Let's stop putting it all on him. Even Superman got the Justice League. He don't go into certain battles all by himself. And, hey, Superman don't need the cape. He can fly without it. I'm not calling Dak that. Dak is more like a Batman. He need the utility belt, and he need that cape. He need help. He need Alfred. He need all of the technology. He need from here and there to have a Robin. Yeah. So I'm just looking at it from this aspect of it. Look, when we get into this postseason, can I get somebody else outside of 4 to give me run game? Can we have it protected up front?
Every playoff.
Yeah. So many people talk about that. Let's join the party. Ain't no fun if the homie can't have none. So Michael Parsons went to 4 playoff games and got 1 sack. I need for Michael Parsons to let loose and give 4 sacks in one game at least once, or pick the ball off with
Ain't nobody
and have a
paying that
pick
line
6.
when he get active.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
Right.
what I want, man, from the 601, Will, from the SIP, is I'm just
Yes,
trying
sir.
to get it, like it's crazy. I seen my guy in the comment box, and he's always rocking with me. Stay paid, you know. He said Jalen Hurts wins games in the postseason. Well, damn it, Dak will win games too if we had a Saquon, right? If we had number 1 or number 2 defense in the National Football League, somebody that can if we had the situation, bro, where we can rush 4 and drop everybody else and get turnovers and takeaways. Yeah, man, I would love that. I would love that. But we don't have that. You know? So we are being measured by something that other teams do, but when we get to the postseason, we looking at it only as one. That quarterback 4, man, we got to get rid of him, and maybe everything else will work its way out. It's crazy.
Very crazy. That's delusional.
There you go. The inverse of it.
And I don't want to close with this one, man. I appreciate you giving that backstory. You know what I'm saying? I love to see my people from the SIP make it big, because, you know, I just have to give stuff differently than anyone else. You know, I'm not, you know, trying to downplay any other people from the South, but I just love to see Mississippi products make it. It touches me, you know.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I lost my father 10 years ago at the age of 18, and, you know, today's his birthday, and I was really low today, but when I saw you live, it really gave me life. Man. And I just appreciate the insight you give, man. So keep going, bro. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, I thank you, and condolences out to your father, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, man. Oh, man, you have a good one, too, man. That's Will from the SIP. I try to bring light to the situation, man. And me being from Mississippi, man, Voch Lombardi, we from the same hometown, NTZ, right? For us to be from the SIP, Big Crit, you know, David Banner, and Soulja Boy don't claim the SIP, but it's all good. You know, Tupac people, Brandy and them, Ray J, all of these people from the SIP, man, and Morgan Freeman, you know, the voice of God, right? He from the SIP, B.B. King, man, the Richard Wright, you know, we got a long list. Elvis and them, you know, even though he was taking other people's samples and music and flipping it around as his own. Shout out to him. He from the SIP. So we got a lot of folks from the SIP, and what's that guy? Suge Knight, Vicksburg, Mississippi. Boy, we got some heavy hitters from the Mississippi, you know, gun line boss, you know. So it is for what it is, and yeah. State Pace said Hurts won playoff games before Barkley in that number 1 defense. But if you go, name it, and then State Paid won. Look up that stat. You said that Hurts won a playoff game, and he passed for 150 yards. I love to have those problems, right? And I'm not beating up Hurts. Shout out to Jalen Hurts, man, the Roll Tide version of the Hurts. And shout out to the Oklahoma Sooners Hurts. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to take away Hurts' skill set. But this is a good test sample to put into place that if you really add to versus taking away, then it's a situation that you can win in the postseason, right? And I'm not saying that Hurts is dog water, but from a thrower of the ball, outside of running with his legs, there's no stats that he's better than Dak at. He's not a better passer rater. He's not a better passing percentage, and he don't have a better QBR. He don't throw a deep ball better. So there are a lot of things that he don't do better, but he's in a better situation is what I'm getting at. He don't have to fight the front office to get paid. He got paid the time he's supposed to get paid. Matter of fact, for those who want to mention better, his contract is better than Dak. His overall guaranteed money is more, right? We look so much into the APY of things, and the guy, he's getting paid $250 million. So at the end of the day, the Cowboys, we're acting as if though we don't have Jerry Jones and son that look like they could be brothers running this organization. AKA P Valley, yeah. Shout out to P Valley and them. So at the end of the day, It is for what it is. Yes, indeed. And DJ, let me say this before I let the next call on. When we use the word delusional, fanatic as a fan, that is delusional. Believing in something is damn near delusional. When you have faith in something, that's damn near delusional. That's damn near delusional. So you mean to tell me we're going to free these people that got us from Pharaoh? We're going to go down here and you're going to use a staff to split the sea so that we can walk to the other side? Man, that's delusion. You mean to tell me that the Creator going to take an unqualified person that's a murderer, right, that stutter when he speak, to lead a nation of people over to the promised land? You got to be delusional. You mean to tell me, just like the caller who said from the 601, that a little young boy from Mississippi, right, who grew up, who said that he wasn't even going to be most likely to be successful in high school, that he is going to be a high earner guy that's going to be able to make six figures doing what his passion is? I got to be delusional. Or I got to have belief in what the things that I say that I can do. Manifestation. I got to be delusional to use my mindset to get me to where I'm at. Or I can be like, hey, I'm a brother from Mississippi. Things not going to come to me. I guess I can just work at Piggly Wiggly for the rest of my life. Is that delusion? Or that's operating within the confines of your faith, right? So if you are a supporter of your team and you call things out to where they are and you back it up with facts, those are things that people don't want to hear. Now he's delusional. But see, the 3-letter and the 4-letter network got y'all to think that all of a sudden that what Stephen A. Smith says with the delusional of being a Cowboy fan, who he is, a fan of the New York Knicks, who haven't won. When was the last time the Knicks won the championship, the Larry O'Brien trophy? When was the last time they won? For y'all to sit back to say that Cowboy fans are delusional for having faith in their team is equivalent to people saying that every Knicks fan that was supporting their team, they delusional. Well, they has to have faith in their team. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. You're not going to win or go to the Super Bowl every decade. But you can have faith in your team and you can point out the facts. And for anybody to say that the Cowboys going into this season don't have a chance, but they got silver and blue and they don't have, what's the whole point of rooting and supporting your team? So when we say die hard fans, these are things that not tied to conditions, meaning that it's win, lose, or draw. That's the whole point of fandom. So y'all got to understand how to be a fan. You're not going to win every year. Your team not going to do the decisions of the things that you want them to do every year. But you support your team. You don't be a fan of your team based off of if they win or how they win or when do they win. Meaning that you are only a die soft fan. Now, the world has become soft. So they now accept things. Oh, let's be cute and cuddly with this. Don't worry. If you don't like this, you just go there. If you don't like this team, you can go root for that team. No, but a die hard is going to die on the ground that he's fighting for. So what y'all do is when y'all see a real man speak about these things and y'all see that placebo man that don't know about these things, that's jumping from team to team, that's the person with the real knowledge. It's okay to have colored contacts as a fella. It's okay to accept guys now with pink fingernails. Oh, it's okay to be a little soft. If a guy want to wear a skirt, let him wear a skirt. The people that's delusion are the people that say, hey, a man should be a man. A man should work by the sweat of his brow. A man shouldn't wear pencil skirts. A man, but no, that's the delusional one. The one that spit the truth get hit with the placebo people. Oh, man, a man that holds the door for a woman. It's not chivalry anymore. He's thirsty. See, society got it all backwards. No, a man holding the door for a woman is chivalry, not thirsty. Being polite to someone is not being soft. It's just being nice. Holding the door for a woman doesn't mean you want to get in them drawers. But in this new society now, oh, man, he thirsty. Oh, man, he just doing anything for attention. And that's where we are at now. So even if we tell y'all the truth, y'all refuse to open up your ears and see the things for what they are. I can't make this stuff up. I can't. I got B Bird that's in the building from the 409. What's on your mind, B Bird?
Hey, what's up, Law? How you doing today, brother?
Hey, man, all is well. Can't complain.
Yeah, one other thing too. If you treat a woman like a woman with respect, they call you a simp, like your wife or whatever. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But one thing too, man, I wanted to say, I appreciate the show today. To be honest with you,
appreciate you.
So you've been around long enough to remember John Elway before the Super Bowls and then John Elway after the Super Bowls, right?
Right.
Okay, so here's the deal. John Elway was great before. Just because he won Super Bowl didn't make him anything else. He still was great.
Yeah.
We all remember Matthew Stafford at Detroit Lions. People called him Pad Stafford or whatever, Stat Pafford or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to a good organization. He wins the Super Bowl. He didn't change. He was the same person, just in a different organization. Charles Barkley said something that stuck with me about 10 years ago when LeBron and KD and all this movement was going around in the NBA. And people would say, why these people jumping from team to team, these players? Right. And he said what it is society and this new media has made it to where if you don't win a championship, you ain't nothing.
Right.
So these guys are scratching now to go win the championship. He said, back in my days, I didn't win a championship, but that doesn't mean that Robert Horry is better than me. And so, what I'm saying, just because Robert Horry won championships. And so he's right about that. And I think what it is he doesn't look at it. People don't look at this thing for context. They just go look at, they lost, must be the quarterback.
Must be quarterback, yeah.
And so one of the things that somebody brought up to me, and it kind of startled me, and I want to try to run this by you. Somebody said that the Philadelphia Eagles 2024 roster was top 5 roster of all time. I said, ain't no way. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. They might have been top 5 of all time as I go through. And I was like, I don't remember a roster being, I don't remember just every room being good. Like I'm talking about the offensive line room, great. Quarterback, great. Running back room, exceptional. Wide receiver room, tight end, exceptional.
Right.
I may have said O-line already, but that was great.
Yeah, great.
Defensive line, great. Linebackers, great. And defensive backs, great. I was like, whoa, they didn't miss. So one of the things you got to look at with Dak Prescott is when have they've had a team like that. I just love the way, I've been saying this, people have heard other shows I may have been on.
Right.
I love the way Philadelphia Eagles built their roster.
It's a well-oiled machine on how they build things,
it is, man.
Yeah.
They just make some great decisions.
And what Dr. Q brought up, man, he's been bringing it up all last year, is like health is a major thing too. Like they remain healthy for a long stretch, all of last year. Like what really derailed the 49ers? Health.
Oh, yeah, health.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now the 49ers, they got the strength of schedule on their side. And now, granted, they paid Brock Purdy, which is only for that money. He worth the money that, he got paid for what he got paid for. But fool around and look, let them be healthy this year. They back into the contentions.
They'll be right back in contention. I think one of the things I've come in my years, I've been watching for a long time, and I try not to be simple and just blaming the quarterback. I go in, and then when we start talking about the roster, you go roster or room versus room with the Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. There's no room that we're just better than them in. I'm talking about last year. So it goes back to roster building, right?
Right.
And so this thing is bigger than, I think the low-hanging fruit is who's on the field and definitely the quarterback.
Right.
But I think this thing is bigger than that. You have to look at, how do we build this team? I think offensively what Philadelphia did is similar, and you're going to hear me echoing this all summer.
Right.
The 2014 offense is my favorite offense of the Cowboys when we had DeMarco Murray and Tony Romo, whereas we relied on the run game.
Right.
But we said that if you want to stop that, we got a guy that can throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. But we just don't. We're not going to unleash him. We're not going to put him under that kind of pressure.
Right.
The only difference with that Philadelphia team and our team, and remember that's when we had the Dez Carter, I think, game.
Yeah.
The only thing different is that our defense wasn't what Philadelphia's defense was.
Come on,
and so
with it.
It's about roster building, man. Y'all guys got to understand that Philadelphia is not operating under any rules that we don't have. We can do the same thing, but we choose not to. And what they have is a general manager that's under the gun to put out a Super Bowl caliber team. And we don't have a general manager under the gun. They have time on their side, man. So they don't be like, okay, because right now what they should be doing is saying, hey, we got to, and let me just tell all the callers this, a Pro Bowl / MVP nominee is good enough to win a Super Bowl, so you're good there. Then you got to say, okay, let's troubleshoot this thing. If we're good at quarterback, then what's the problem? We haven't fixed the things around him.
Right.
The things that the jersey numbers that are not selling, the defensive line, linebackers, we need to fix those guys. Don't just go get the 88s and the 4s.
And don't look at like this is another thing that people tend to do. Well, you went 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, right? Don't look at the games that you won, but look at the reasons how you lost, right?
Absolutely.
So were you a team that can stop the run? Were you a team that can force teams and dictate stuff so that teams can alter, right? And we didn't have those things. Now, even though you learn more from your failures than your success, and the Cowboys, every time they lost those particular games, those the close games, that's the time to say, okay, this is what my quarterback can do in this moment. I tell you what, my quarterback won't be able to do it in this moment. So now before we get to the postseason, let's make sure we tie that up. And the Cowboys didn't know how to make those adjustments. You want to know why? Because we don't have a true, real GM. A real GM picks up the phone and he makes that trade and say, I'm not finna rely on winning in the postseason with a guy that's 205 pounds at linebacker, right?
Absolutely.
So
they got exploited with that. Yeah.
Exploitations, man. But people, for the life of me, Bird, they just don't understand the reason, but they listen to the 3-letter and 4-letter network, and it must be just the quarterback, and they don't bring up those other points.
And I tell you what, man, we don't realize how much that affects our mindset and our thought processes. When Barkley said that, he was referring to the ESPNs, the First Takes, and all those things. Right. Getting on guy, oh, he didn't win it. He ain't won no championship, and that's their throw that as a trump card. Like, we've never won a championship, so the guy say, okay, I got to get that off my back. I'll just go to Golden State. Right. I'll go to Miami. I'll go here and go there. Yeah. But the thing about it is it has a big effect on us. But I think those 12-5 teams were built for regular season. Yeah. But they wasn't built for the adversity that the playoffs is going to bring you.
Yeah.
The last team was built off of the defense basically was, hey, our offense gets up so much to where you got to pass. Well, Green Bay said, we're not even going to get in that position. Y'all front runners. Y'all do well from the front. Y'all do well when y'all got the lead. Y'all get cocky when y'all got the lead. Y'all play loose when y'all got the lead. How about us get the lead? And you could tell the whole tenor of the stadium changed because the Cowboy fans have been through so much that we're like, uh-oh, here it goes again. That energy feeds throughout that stadium.
Yeah,
I've seen that done before on TV. I've been there where people are not clapping because we're down. They're looking around like, oh, my God, what's going to happen? Whenever that happens, that goes through the whole team. That's when you get the Dak eyes, right?
Yeah,
and so
the sweat Dak and all that.
and I'll say this too. Now, this is with Dak too, so I'm not going to protect him the whole time.
Right.
Jalen Brunson hit a shot to end the series this year, and I can't remember who it was, New York Knicks. And they asked the coach about Jalen Brunson. Say, hey man, what about Jalen Brunson's performance at the end? He said something that stayed with me. He said he's at his best when his best is needed. And that just struck with me because when he said that, I instantly went to the Cowboys and said, who was at his best when we needed in those 49er games? I'm talking about any player. Dak wasn't either now. Let's just get that straight.
Right.
Green Bay, both the 49ers losses in the playoffs, who were at their best when their best was needed? No one showed up. There's nobody that can say, man, I ain't going to lie.
Yeah.
That dude played his butt off. I cannot remember one player that did that. So we got to have some guys, and that's Dak. CD, Parsons. Somebody has to start stepping up in these games, and I think when one guy steps up and start playing, I think it'll make those guys feel comfortable playing because we don't even play up to our standards in some of these games. You know what I'm saying? We just get a regular old-fashioned performance that we've been getting all season. we win some of those games, man. But those guys get a little bit tight, and we got to get a coach in there that's going to get those guys loose and just let them play like they normally do.
Understand your weakness more than your opposition. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And I appreciate you giving me this time, brother. I'm gonna talk to you later.
No doubt, man. Good call from B Bird. Good measured call, man. With objectivity and beyond. So like I said, man. Before the ability to win a championship, they were out on Matthew Stafford. Law, do you have any truths to it? Yeah. I mean, they're making now this might be a very blurry picture because I understand. Yeah, they're making all of these things. Who remember that, right? This man, when he retired, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, right? The team that rejected him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, God dog. And they were doing all these type of things, man. But now he's Super Bowl champ. But what we got to also quantify and solidify these type of things too is that he had a complete team when he won it as well. It wasn't just Stafford. It wasn't just Stafford to Megatron. It was Stafford with defense. It was Stafford to, they went and made a situation to go get the guy Odell Beckham. Even if it was a decoy, but through the course of the year or what have you, it wasn't just Stafford on that LA's Ram team. And we can argue and make the same counterpoint with Aaron Donald, right? So what I'm getting at is that regardless of the situation, it takes more than one individual to win a championship. It takes more, right? But his legacy is forever going to be cemented as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Doesn't matter if he had the number one defense or Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey. People are going to forget about that 30, 40, 50 years from now. But they will always remember the quarterbacks. Terry Bradshaw will be forever remembered. But all of his contemporaries on that team is fading away. Brad Johnson will be forever remembered. Trent Dilfer, Joe Flacco's and them will be forever remembered. Nick Foles, they got a statue of Nick Foles in Philly. I can't make this stuff up. Shout out to my brother in the chat, man. Twin Empire, man. Y'all be sure. Boy, I haven't talked ball with my brother in a minute, man. I'm going to have to bring him on. Yes, indeed. I got Uncle Charles, man. The 205, you're live on The Nation. Talk to me.
What's up, Law?
What's up, Unc? What's good with you?
What's up, Law? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great, man.
Man, I can't call it, man. Man, and tell your family I said hello, man.
Will do.
Man, let me say this, y'all. It is what it is. I see people going around here buying flat screen TVs, but I'm buying Christmas stuff. Yeah, this is what I do. You might be broke on Christmas, but I won't. That's the damn truth on that. Let me say this about Dak. Dak is a fish in water. He's a guppy. He swim amongst the other guppies. But somewhere along the way, Dak got big enough to go up and swim with the sharks. And then the other guppies said, wait a minute. Just hold on. Why do he get to go up and swim amongst the sharks and we don't? So now we're going to come together and show him why he can't. Anything is possible.
Right.
I seen a tiger get swallowed by an alligator. Because all the way up to the end, everything around him he owned. But when he got to that creek, the alligator ate it. He said, you might be the king on land, but I'm the king in the water. See, I want to know what Dak want to be. Do you want to be the guy on the porch that's screaming, or you want to be the guy that's passing by? I see a lot of people do a lot of interviews, and they talk about people, but I never hear anybody talk about their dad. Well, if your children talking bad about you, why is they talking bad about you? Maybe you didn't invest in them. Maybe you should have put time in. Maybe they need to see you more. This is where it is. Dak, what do you want to be? That guy that's screaming on the porch or the guy passing by? Hey, we're going to come over there this evening and we're going to play some checkers, 1995. Hey, we're going to come down and check on your mama and we're going to go out back and we're going to smoke, 1992. And here it is, 2025, and your dumb ass is still on that porch.
Right.
Now, Dak, what do you want to be? That guy screaming off the porch or that guy that's passing by? And I appreciate you, Law.
Man, come on with it, man. That's Uncle Charles, man.
Hey, Long.
Uh-huh.
Let me say this, and we'll get to that. I didn't mean to take it over there. But let me say this because I need to freshen it up. Sacrifice, don't give up the fight. Everything will be all right on any given Sunday. Yeah. Depend on you, and yet you'll win or lose. You know you got to pay some dues so you can live on Monday. Yeah.
Man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, Uncle Charles, man. Hey, we definitely gonna snip that part, and we gonna update the audio on that one. Yes, indeed. That's
Sacrifice, don't give up the fight. Everything will be all right on any given Sunday. Yeah.
Man, that boy can sing, man. All right, I got Dr. Q from the 210 UN on the mix, man. Talk to me.
What's going on, brother? Hey, sitting here listening, man, enjoying the show. Uncle Charles and the previous caller, man, was fire, boy.
Man,
I'm telling you, fire.
Yeah.
But just wanted to kind of chime in quick, man. They stole most of my thunder, bro. But I would just say, man, I don't like it when we have our fans that most of them will just place all the blame on Dak, and that's just ridiculous, man. But let me opine here real quick.
Before you go into that, what I'm getting at is saying he's not faultless. Now he got some blemishes on that, Right. Dak do have his hands in it, but what I'm getting at that you want to be able to have a team to be able to alleviate that. But go ahead, Dr. Q.
Correct. Okay, so if you're not born, and I'm going to go back just a little bit, if you're not born in the 90s, you're not going to know this. You have to go and do your research. So the reason why you will never see, let me take the never back. It's so tough to have an elite defense and an elite offense. And by the way, Philly was not a top five team at all time. That's a no-go. The reason why it's hard to see that is because if you don't know, the salary cap was implemented in 1994. Right. And it was implemented after who signed with the Cowboys? Deion Sanders. Remember, he left it in 49. He was played with the 49ers in 94.
Right.
And then came the following year. Mm-hmm. They put a salary cap there because the small market teams cannot compete. They cannot compete with the larger market teams, the Cowboys, Niners, the Giants. So they went in and did a salary cap. That is why it's so hard to get offense and defense delete, because players are going to go where they want to get paid. You don't go get a job and tell them, oh, man, don't pay me this type of money. I'll work for this. No, right. The object is to progress. So our fans don't understand that. Salary cap hurt it. Along with that, now here's the kicker, my opinion, so I'm going to opine on this as well. So the reason why you don't, everybody goes, oh, Dak had a team in 2016. He had all this. The biggest issue, my perspective, my paradigm is Jerry Jones. When they go and get said player, it's hardly ever a proven player. So I just want the Cowboy fans to think about this. When you look at the Eagles, when you look at the Niners, when you look at those other teams that are up there all the time, when they go get said players, they're going to get Buda Baker caliber type players. You cannot sit here and tell me, no one can sit up here and tell me that our safeties right now is better than Gardner and Buda Baker when healthy. No one in the chat can sit there and tell me that. See, this is the issue that I feel we have with this team. Jerry Jones gonna feel it to make the fans, quote unquote, oh, I got him. I got somebody in there, so we're gonna keep them quiet for a minute. Not to say they can't win, but the difference is those teams get proven veterans off the market. We don't. That is the biggest issue. And when we do, they're pushing 30, 35.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not to say the older folks can't be productive. I'm not saying that. But these teams that are winning these Super Bowls now, I just want the Cowboys fans to understand you got to look at the veterans that they're picking up via free agency or trades. We're just not doing that. Our ownership just want us to be happy so they don't have to feel the fire or hear our mouths. And I will say this, and this is just for me. If we do not fix this defense, we're going to have issues. I want this defense fixed. I'm okay with the offense, and I understand when we glue it together on the field, maybe it'll all come together. But this defense, you have to make better moves on this defense to say, okay, I think we're ready. And then, like I always tell you, and I heard you mention it, health and luck plays a lot into that.
Yeah.
But you've got to go get dogs, man, to make this team better. And that's the bottom line, man. My perspective, that's what we have not been doing. You can't sit up here and blame Dak for I think 3 callers ago. Yes, Lord, I agree with you. Dak is at fault, but I always tell you this as well. When we have a damn good offense, we struggle on defense. When we have a damn good defense, we struggle on offense. So that tells me right now is that you're not trying to equal it out 50-50. You're only getting players to fill that hole, and you're not going out there to go and really make a difference like some of these other Super Bowl teams are doing.
Yeah.
That's our biggest issue.
Man,
That's
Dr. Q, man, shoot, Barry Bonds ain't got nothing on this home run that you done hit, man.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, Dr.
appreciate
Q.
it, bro.
Thank you, man. Yes, indeed.
Okay, man.
Yes.
All right, now. Take care, man.
Peanut butter, no jelly, and that's what he's basically saying. Oh, my gosh. But don't blame Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. When you have lack of, and I'm not saying I'm more knowledgeable than Jerry and Stephen. I'm not saying that. But when you have decades of the same issue, I mean, as above, so below. Great GMs fix the issues before you get to the postseason. I'm going back to the 2014 team. The Dallas Cowboys got rid of their one and only pass rusher the previous year, named DeMarcus Ware. Like Dr. Q said, might as well call him Dr. Martin Luther King for spitting all of this truth. But Dr. Q said when you have one on one thing, we don't have it on the other. Aaron Rodgers had one leg. I get it. Dez called it catch, no catch type of thing. But the man had one leg. And we couldn't get to Aaron Rodgers. He had enough time to build a whole fortress to go through his progressions. We didn't have a single guy to be out in coverage. I think at the time we had Orlando Scandrick off the ball 10 to 15 yards while the receiver is catching it for the first down. We don't have things that match. And granted, we're seeing now that this particular situation, that, Cuddy, money is the main thing. But I just got a note, man. I got to go, man. I know we got more and more people in the call queue. I got to run, man. I can't get to all of y'all, man. I promise y'all we will try to figure out a way to get to the other callers on the next show. But, man, so shout out to you, Hoodie Kush. I see you, JP, Cowboys, Roy, Nachos, JD. Big Amish man. I'm gonna try to get
Goodbye.
to y'all on the next show. But man, there was a song that came out. I think Playboy Cardi or somebody. I think Drake is on the hook. He says, "I'd rather lie than to lose you, girl. I'd rather lie." Jerry would rather lie to y'all than to lose all of y'all. I'm going to make this. I'm going to do this. We're going to make sure we get all of the resources. Now, granted, from his mindset, he probably doing the great things to get things going. But overall, when you look at the complexities of teams, you got to have defense and you got to have star player powers on the other side. You can't be running out there with a J.J. Wilcox, Jeff Heath and them and expect to win Super Bowls. You can't continue to hold the hands of Jason Garrett, and these are the sins of the past. Sins of the fathers falling down onto the sons. I guess it's of the Cowboys. But the expectations still the same. The expectations when we had Chan Gailey, still Super Bowl. Dave Campo, still Super Bowl. Bill Parcells, that's our strongest chance. We got rid of him. Went to a crazy 13-3 year. Had everything in line. One of the better players one of the better teams in the National Football League. We get all the way to the tip of the dance and we say, "Oh, let's go to Cabo. Let's go party before we even get a chance to play the game. Oh, let these guys relax. This is Camp Cupcake." Oh, yeah, we got to continue this topic, Roy Williams, or R. Williams, right? Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I get it. I want to win just like the next man. I think Shotty sees some of this. I think that Eberflus, he understands this. He spent 7 years with his organization. So he was on that team in 2014 in some capacity. 15, he was here. 16, he was here. 17, I think he was getting his walking papers to get out of there at the end of that year. But we can't just sit up here and say to ourselves, now granted, we know we can compete within the confines of our divisions, not like teams been running off with the plug. No. What we getting at, even with less talent, we've been right in the mix of them. And as fans, we've been fighting Eagles and Washington and Giants guys, right? We haven't lost to them when we get to the postseason. You know, shit, let us play them when we get to the postseason. Yeah. But what we got to do is, for once, I'm asking 2 favors. Can we spend the mindset of running the ball and stopping the run? Those are the 2 things, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the time that I have for this beautiful moment. I really appreciate you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you love this show and episode. You can hear it all around the world on all of the platforms that we are on, and we integrating back over to Spotify and Apple and all of this stuff and Roku. So y'all bear with us. I got the controllers back on from those aspects, but there's always a rewind feature, right? And if we offended anyone, right? And if y'all took our words and mixed and used them in a different light, charge it to my beard, not my heart. As a man, we should be able to stand on words that we able to say to come out of our mouths. Granted, if you want to wear pencil skirts and change the textures of your eyes with different colors and spray paint your beard and hair and paint your fingernails, as a man, if you want to do that, then do that. I have no room to judge you on that. I can't force nobody to like me nor like you. But what I can do is say the things that's on my mind. But if I affected anyone, charge it to my beard, not my heart. Life is a cycling process. Perfection is what we seek in all of our reasonings on this earth. Comparisons is the thief of all joy. But that is the number one thing that everybody do in this modern day time. This person is comparable to that person, and that person is comparable to this person. This person got this many views. This person only had that many views. But it's context that need to be added to. You never know what that person's day may have been. Did they lose their mom? Right? Did the internet go out? Did they lose their father? Had a guy to call in and say he lost his dad. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. People have different reasonings on why they do things. And you never know why these things happen and occur. But life will humble you, because just when you think you're on top of things, just when you think that everything is operating out of the will of yourself and it's not in the will of the Creator, it can be gone away. But also, we have the ability to speak life into things and operate within the confines of the things that we're speaking in. Everything that y'all see right now, everything that y'all seeing right now, been spoken into existence. Mama said that there will be days literally just like this. But you got to keep continuing to move forward. And one of the things that I want to say is the same thing that I say on all of my closing, or at least I try to. It's about heart, soul, and sinew and determination. It's about your mindset and not being able to be in the conditionings of someone else's opinion. And that opinion would never outweigh your hustles of your mind and the fact of life. And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold or the poverty or the famine shall fame, or that sickness of your body or brain can turn you away, ladies and gentlemen, from the things you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty.
Excellence is difficult, but to be...
You will get it, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Hey! Tell them run it up, baby. Shout out to Eureka. Holly said for the long stroke, Long Friday. Josh Brown.
Flex, I'm down now.
Come on.
No drip, this. Tell them run it up.
Yo.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first die.
Stretch.
Tell them run it up.
Come on.
I wake up. Flex, I'm down now. No drip, this. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest.
What we tell them?
But first die. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands. I'm by my lonely.
Love my lonely.
Turn to a savage. Now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends.
Come
I got
on.
my homies.
Hey.
Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me.
Come on.
I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady.
Yeah.
The first one in, the last one out, can't call me
Can't
lazy.
call all lazy.
Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ.
Come on, baby, let's get it. 6 rings.
I wake up,
Lost.
thumb down that no drip this.
Tell her run it up.
No
Hey,
sleep, no
yo.
rest. Might crash, might crack, but first I
Stretch.
Tell her run it up. I wake up,
Law.
thumb down that
Nation.
no drip this.
Come on.
Tell her run it up.
Yo.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first
What we
I
tell 'em?
Tell her run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip
To Philly. Come on, baby.
I call 'em Nigeria,
I call my guy
come through in
CJ.
a hurry.
Yeah, and John.
London boys don't come to play, you
We
should
don't-
get worried.
we don't come to play.
One false move, find yourself there getting buried.
Getting buried.
Yes, with the devil, used to love playing those games.
Yeah.
Made some bad decisions that brought my mama pain.
Not mine,
I
baby.
made a promise to her, swore that I would change. I'm on the come up, bet I live up
To my name. I wake up. Hey. Law.
No drip this.
Nation.
Tell her run it up.
Come on. Shout out to you, Michael.
Crash, might break, but first I stretch. Tell her run it up. I wake up, down that
Come on.
no drip this. Tell her run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might break.
Shout out to you, Will Swayze.
Run it up.
Pose, Eric, the old head young bull. That's a very suspect name, Eric. And as well as, let's slow it down. Come on. As the credits roll, do me a huge, huge favor. Smash upon the like button. Sharing is absolutely caring here. Shout out to you, LP 10601. Appreciate you. And as we continue to elevate the storyline, I appreciate you guys on this journey. Let's get it.
Take a drag of my cigarette.
Bring me out, bring you in. Yeah.
Take a bite of my burger, babe. Save the last bite for you.
And you.
For you. Ooh. Don't let the street lights lead you all alone.
Shout out to you, One Tyrone, Sean D. Come on with it.
And they understand the cost.
Don't let the street lights hit nobody.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close the doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. We all believe there's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, I'm challenging each of you all down here to give it $20. I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs the city. I got you.
All at
And
once.
this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or you didn't get that,
Bring them baskets, baby. You know it's danger.
Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on the
street lights. Sing it with me, y'all. I be all. Philly D. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Wherever you go. Danielle. Danielle. Melissa, I see you, baby.
$20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just for y'all giving. That's it.
Then forever doesn't feel that far.
Let's go, man!
So
Let's
far,
go!
so far. If a baby great
It's an evil world we live in.
Fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
Until next time, the longest outro in the land. Brought to you by Law Nation Sports.
Asking me, damn, Dak Prescott.
Take the money out, all of it.
Calling,
Come on.
texting me,
Wasting my time now. Come on.
asking me,
Come on.
still ball,
Y'all usually check on.
Y'all usually check on Law. Y'all still with me?
still them boys.
Come on, y'all still with me? Hey, hey.
Portion of my portion.
Hey, I'm still them boys.
What we tell them? I'm still Sooner. I'm still them boys. What the note? Come on, choir.
You must be out your goddamn mind.
If you ain't them boys no more.
I'm still them boys.
Swallow them.
Are you not entertained? I'm still. Are you not entertained?
Are you shitting me?
I'm still.
Are you shitting me?
Until next time. Come on, y'all knock them rings up out of it. Come on, choir.
I'm still them boys. Yo, now y'all don't want to call and check on the pastor. I'm still them boys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is where we hold them. I cannot believe it. Oh.
Let me crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
In the words of my guy.
Sacrifice. Don't give up the fight.
What we gonna say?
Everything will be all right on any given Sunday. Yeah, depend on you.
If you
win or lose, you know you got to pay some dues to live on Monday. Yeah.
Come on with it, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate y'all. One love. DC for life, not for short. We out. Bout. Peace.